Today we'll be building a $50 ready of the Charmed Apple deck. So she's going to be really good just with auras, so she's probably the best aura deck commander in the set, and she's ranked 2 for Wilds of Elgin on ETH track. So basically what she does is 1 white, black, and she's a legendary creature, human warlock. Each creature that's enchanted by an aura you control can attack you or planeswalker you control. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses X life and you can gain X life, where X is the number of auras you control. She's a 2/4. So this is going to be really good just making your opponent's creatures weak by making auras on them, and then they can't attack you now. And then you can also just drain them for the amount of auras you control, which if you have a lot of auras, like if you have like 1 mana auras, 2 mana auras, or even 3 mana auras, and if you have 4, that's gonna be too expensive. But the amount of this, you can gain so much life, and then you can make your opponents lose so much life. Actually, it's in the other order, but it doesn't matter. And yeah, so this is gonna be really good just draining and gaining and all of these things. And she's gonna make a really good aura commander. I want to see if she's gonna be pretty good. So what's our first category? Our first category is key performers, and what these are the highlights of our decks. These are the cards that we will search for and we really want in our hands. So first up is Killian, Ink Duelist, which she just makes spells that target a creature cost 2 less to cast. And this is like auras. Auras target a creature, so they cost 2 less. If they're already not even cheap enough, they cost 2 more. Less, I mean. We also got Arcane of Sun's Grace, which this gives Pegasus creatures lifelink. Why does that matter? Well, we create a white Pegasus creature, the token, that's a 2/2 whenever a aura enchantment enters the battlefield, and it's with flying also. We also got Sphere of Safety, which is, what does this card do? Well, exactly just gives us exactly what our commander does. For the amount of enchantments we do, it's basically Ghostly Prison, but it's better, but it's more expensive, that's why. But it's really good in enchantment decks because it makes it's hard for opponents to attack us. We also got Grim Guardian, which this card is just going to make a drain a lot easier now, because for each aura we could play, our opponents just lose 1 life, so that can be really good draining if our commander's not enough. We also got Sigil of Empty Throne, which this card's going to be also really good because it's going to create lots of tokens for whenever an enchantment gets cast by us. It's for 5 mana, which is a little bit pricey, but I assure you it's going to be really worth it once you actually get the value out of it. Next up is Aura card draw, and these are the cards that just are Aura synergy key pieces that care about draw. First up is Mesa Enchantress. Is just whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you just draw a card. You may actually, so if you're running out. So she's also 0/2. We also got Sram, Senior Artificer, and he's going to be really good at just drawing a card whenever we cast an aura spell. And he's just going to be only 2 mana. We also got Kor Spiritdancer, which this card's really nice because it's good at drawing us cards when we cast aura spells and give us +2/+2 for each aura attached to it. So this is going to be really good. We also got Hateful Eidolon, and this card's only 1 black mana, and we just get draw cards for each aura attached to a creature when it dies. So it's going to be really good. Then we got Sage's Reverie, and this card just draws cards for each aura we control that's attached to a creature. So we can get like 10 cards, or how many cards you have, how many auras you control. Sadly, you're probably going to have to discard, but it's probably going to be fine because you're going to get so much value out of it. It also gives some pluses, like a +1/+1 for each aura you control that's attached to the creature equipping it. We also got Ashiok's Reapers. These cards are new cards from the new Wilds of Elgin, and this is a set that this commander is from. And whenever an enchantment you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, draw a card. It's a 3/3. So it's going to be pretty good. Maybe even enchant your auras onto it, but it's going to be pretty good. We also got Tutors, which these are the cards that are just going to search our libraries for auras. We got Light-Paws, Emperor's Voice, which whenever an aura enters the battlefield if you control, if you cast it, you may search your libraries for an aura card with mana value less than or equal to that aura's mana cost, and with a different name. And then each aura you control, put that card onto the battlefield attached to Light-Paws, Emperor's Voice, then shuffle. This card's gonna be really good just searching your library for an aura card, putting it onto the battlefield under a Light-Paws thing. And why is this gonna be really good? Because Light-Paws, your commander doesn't care about who your auras are on. So this is gonna be fine, that we're gonna put a lot of auras on him, and then we're gonna make our opponents lose 1 more life each turn, and we're already getting 1 more life. So it's gonna be pretty good. Then we got Heliod's Pilgrim, which this card's going to be really good searching a library when ETBs, and then we have to shuffle the library to play this up. I don't know. And then we have to open the armory, same thing as Heliod's Pilgrim, but it's not a creature, so it's the same thing basically. and also equipments, but we don't really have any good equipments. Next up, we got cheap auras, and these cards are the cards that just are, we play them, and then we play another, we play so many, and then we draw. So we got Darksteel Mutation, which is 2 mana, just makes the creature 0/1 indestructible insect, so it's going to be really good, and it loses all of their abilities and card types and creature types. We also got Ethereal Armor, and this card just 1 white mana, just gives +1/+1 for each artifact enchantment you control, and it has first strike, so that's going to make it really big, and it's only for 1 mana. We also got Chaos Ghostform, which this card's also 1 black mana. It's just whenever it dies or it's put into exile, return the enchanted creature to the battlefield, and it's going to count for our commander, so it's going to be really good. We also got Nurgle's Rot, which this card is going to be really good because we can keep playing it for our drawing cards, because whenever the enchanted creature dies, returns to the owner's hand, and you create a 1/3 black demon creature named Plague Bearer of Nurgle. So that's going to be really good, just creating a lot of 1/3s. And also, if we can kill the creature, we can just return hand, cast it, and get our casting triggers. We also got Spirit Link, which this card is just going to be really good. Lifelink and just gaining us a ton of life. We also got Spirit Mantle, which this thing is going to be really good, just giving us protect creatures and a +1/+1. We also got Vampiric Link, which this card also gives us lifelink, but it's black instead, and it's only 1 mana. We also got Hyena Umbra, which this card gives us +1/+1 and has first strike, and has Totem Armor, which so then gives us whenever destroyed, it can remove all damage from it and destroy this aura instead, so even more protection. We don't care if it dies or not. We really just need our creatures that are auras to stay alive. What's got Clawing Torment? It's just really good, just enchanting your creature and opponent controls, so then they can't attack us. So that's gonna be really good. And then we got Reprobation, and this card's gonna be really good, just making your creatures and opponents control lose all their abilities and make them a 0/1 coward. We also got Swift Reconfiguration, which card's only 1 white mana, makes it a vehicle, and then it has crew 5, and then it loses all other card types. And now it has to be crew with 5 power, so now it's going to be really hard to attack with, and also they can't attack with it because you're your commander. If you don't have your commander, then the crew 5 is actually going to do something. We also got Gryff Boon, which is what this card does, is just gives a flying for 1 mana and +1/+0, and we also return it to a battlefield attached with a creature for 4 mana, which does kind of be a bad ability, but still pretty good there. And we also got Angelic Gift, which this card just gives us flying, draws a card for all 2 mana. It's viewed as a really bad card, but for this deck's pretty good. We also got Protection, which just protects us creatures from dying, or maybe even exiling, and it gives us hexproof for indestructible, or just protects a creature. We got Minion's Return, which when it dies, we just return it back to the battlefield under our control. It's an aura, and it also has flash. We also got Mother of Runes, which just gives us a creature of our choice, the protection of our color, and into 1 turn. That's going to be really good for only 1 white mana. We also got Shielded by Faith, which this card's only for 3 mana, has whenever an enchanted creature is indestructible, and then whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you may attach Shielded by Faith to that creature. So if you have a creature opponent controls has haste, you can always just equip this to a creature that controls to not take damage. Or only do that really if it's going to be a threat. If not, then don't do that. Next up, we got Swift Boots, and this card's just really good at giving hexproof and haste. It just gives both, and it's a package deal. Next up, we got Timely Wards. This can just give a creature flash if it targets a commander, and it just gives it indestructible for only 3 mana and it's an aura. We got Unholy Indenture, which this card is really good. Just 2 black, whenever a creature dies, returns to the battlefield with the 1 counter, and it's an aura. Next up, we got Removal, which these cards are just removal spells. We got Despark, which this card is really good, just exiling something with 4 mana value 4 or greater for just 2 mana, both colored mana. Next up, we got Path to Exile, which is to exile creature and white for just 1 white mana, and its controller may search your library for 1 basic land card opponent to the battlefield tapped. Next up, we got Source of Plowshares, which it's only 1 white mana, and its controller gains life equal to its power, and it exiles a creature. Next up, we got Fracture, which just has a lot of options of 3. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or planeswalker for another white or black. Next up, we got Generous Gift, which this card just destroys target permanent, and its controller creates a 3/3. This card's really good, and it's only for 3 mana. Next up, we got Mortify, and Mortify is pretty good because it can destroy target creature or enchantment. It's much better than Murder. And next, we got Winds of Wrath, and Winds of Wrath is also going to be really, really good because we're just wrathing. Yeah, destroys all creatures with our non-enchanted, because we have so many auras that are enchanted creatures, they're not going to die. And they can't be regenerated. Does that matter? Not at all. So next up, we got Ramp, and this category is all about our Soul Rings, which adds 2 colors mana if you didn't know that. Got Arcane Signet, which adds the mana of any color to your color identity for 2. We also got Fellwar Stone that just gets us 1 mana of a color that a opponent could land, an opponent could control that could produce. We also got Orzhov Signet, and this card can just get us white-black for 1 white colors mana. White colors mana. We also got Talisman of Hierarchy, which is card's really good just getting to colorless, but if we really need it, white or black to get us to 1 damage to us. We also got Wayfarer's Bubble, which this card's really good just searching your library for a basic land. Opponent's the battlefield tapped, then you have to shuffle. So you got turn 1, you play it, turn 2, you just search your library. And then we got the last category of 1 less to cast, and this category is all about just, I'm just going to reduce all my auras to 1 less. First up, we got Danitha, and she's 3 mana, and she has First Strike, Vigilance, and Lifelink, which makes her a really good aura holder, and she makes aura and equipment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. But we don't care about the equipment. I don't think we have any equipment in this deck. But she is a 2/2, and she's going to be pretty good. We also got Hero of Iroas, and he's pretty good for he's only 2 mana, and he also makes another good bearer because whenever you cast a spell that targets him, which is an aura targets him, put a 1 counter on him. And he also makes aura spells cost 1 less. We also got Starfield Mystic, which if you can get a lot of enchantments in the graveyard, he can also be a really good enchantment aura holder. And he also makes enchantment spells cost 1 less. And then we also got Starnhelm Enforcer, which it's really good because it makes enchantment spells cost 1 less, but it also makes artifacts. We have some artifacts, so it's also going to do some stuff for that ability. Last up, we got Transcendent Envy, and this card just makes auras cost 1 less. It's flying for 2 mana. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you disagree with the deck or if you really want to remodel the deck. The deck description will be in the below because I couldn't cover everything. But going down below, it's going to be an Archdeck description in the description or comments. Probably both. And if you click on it, you'll go to my Archdeck, and you can remodel it if you really want to. If you're not familiar with Archdeck, make an account so you can just make the deck. So that was the video. Please subscribe for more deck techs. I'm seeing if I want to make decks of my channel. So if you really enjoyed, subscribe so I can know if it's to do well.